Welcome all. Myself, Dr. Dinesh Navle. So in this video, we are going to be learn about acyl nucleophilic substitution reaction. That means how this reaction will be carried out by the tetrahedral mechanism. So if you'll see that during mechanism of organic reactions, lot of changes are going to be happen during the course of organic reaction. When your starting material will be converted into the product, all these reactions are going to be passed through some of the intermediate or some of the transition states. So if you are going to be see acyl nucleophilic substitution reaction, which are always going to be carried out by the tetrahedral mechanism. So acid catalyze, what we are going to be seeing these one. So in this topic we are going to be see that acid catalyze esterification of carboxylic acid, that is the Act2 mechanism, and the base promoted hydrolysis of ester, that is Back2 mechanism. So the nucleophilic acyl substitution reaction, the fact that the atom adjacent to the carbonyl carbon in carboxylic acid derivative is an electronegative heteroatom rather than a carbon like in ketone or a hydrogen like in aldehydes is critical to understand the reactivity of this functional group. So if you'll see that three functional groups are there, aldehyde is there, acid is there, and the ketone is there. See, if you are going to be see that in case of the aldehyde, methyl group is present next to the carbonyl carbon. In case of the aldehyde, it is hydrogen. In case of the ketone, it is methyl group. But in case of the carboxylic acid, there is a oxygen is present, and that oxygen is what? Electronegative heteroatom. So we have to understand the exact mechanism when nucleophilic substitution reaction is going to be carried out across any carbonyl carbon. So we are going to be see that in aldehyde and ketone, carboxylic acids are attacked from one side of their original planar carbonyl group by nucleophile, converting this carbon to a tetrahedral geometry. That means it is a sp3 geometry. In carboxylic acid derivative, the acyl X group is a potential leaving group. So we are going to be see that the nucleophilic acyl substitution reaction, what is exactly means? This means the tetrahedral product form from attack of the nucleophile on the carbonyl carbon is not the product, it is the reactive intermediate. That means when any nucleophilic substitution reaction is going to be carried out across the carbonyl system, in that case tetrahedral intermediate is going to be formed, and then that tetrahedral intermediate will be converted into the product. So the tetrahedral intermediate rapidly collapse. That means the lifespan of that, or the short half-life of the tetrahedral intermediate is very short lived, and they are going to be again going to be converted into the product very rapidly. So this is one of the best example of the acyl nucleophilic substitution reaction. So if you are going to be observe in case of the acyl nucleophilic substitution reaction, so suppose this is the acyl group is there, carbonyl carbon and oxygen is there. X will be can be the hydrogen in case of aldehyde, X can be the methyl in case of the ketone, and X can be the OH in case of the carboxylic acid, and Nu is the nucleophile. Now when any, as we are already aware that in case of the carbonyl oxygen and carbon, the oxygen is more electronegative. So majority of the electron density of the carbonyl carbon and oxygen bond will be shifted toward the oxygen, which makes the carbonyl carbon in carbonyl system as the more electron deficient center, and any nucleophile electron rich systems are going to be attack on that carbonyl carbon. During acyl nucleophilic substitution reaction, when nucleophile is going to be attack on the carbonyl carbon, that time there is a formation of one intermediate, and we are going to be observe when nucleophile is going to be attack on the carbonyl carbon, the carbon oxygen bond is going to be break, it will form as the oxide O minus, and formation of new carbon and X bond. And in a very next step, or in a similar step, this oxygen is going to be that tetrahedral intermediate will be converted into the product with substitution of that X, which is the leaving group, by the nucleophile. So we are going to be observe the geometry of the starting material is sp2 hybridization. The hybridization of the product of the carbonyl carbon is also sp2. It is also trigonal. This product is also trigonal geometry, but in case of the intermediate, it is the sp3 hybridization with tetrahedral intermediate. That means all acyl nucleophilic substitution reaction are going to be carried out in tetrahedral mechanism. So this is the tetrahedral intermediate we are going to be observed for all nucleophilic substitution reaction. So this is also the same thing we already discussed into the last slide, that how nucleophile will be attack on the carbonyl carbon. Then there is a formation of these next will be there. But if weaker base is going to be present, that time nucleophile will be again reverse, and this reactions is we are again going to get the starting material as a product. That means back where we started. So it depends upon whether the leaving group is strong or whether leaving group is weak. If your leaving group X is very strong and it is stable, it will be converted into the substitution of the X by the nucleophile. But if your leaving group is not that much strong for to leave the system, in that case we are going to be again back the starting material as it is. So this is again acid hydrolysis. So in this particular video we are going to be see that 2 or the 3 mechanisms. One will be the acid catalyzed hydrolysis of the ester as well as the base catalyzed hydrolysis of the ester. So this your starting material is ester. In presence of H plus, it is an acid catalyzed reaction for ester hydrolysis. First, carbonyl oxygen is going to be protonated, and we are going to get the formation of this intermediate. And when water will be attacked, we are going to get formation of one intermediate here. This intermediate you can easily observe. Your starting material, which is sp2 hybridized carbonyl carbon, your product, which is also the sp2 hybridized carbonyl carbon. Starting material is ester, product is carboxylic acid. But the intermediate which is going to be formed, which is exactly the sp3 hybridization with tetrahedral intermediate, or the that's why it is also called as what most of the acid catalyzed hydrolysis reaction are going to be follow the tetrahedral mechanism. Same thing which are going to be observed in all the mechanisms. So this is the mechanism for acid catalyzed ester hydrolysis, and product is what carboxylic acid. Now the acylation mechanism. So acylation mechanism, if you are going to be see that this is your our carbonyl carbon system is there. This is nucleophile is there, which has been denoted by the blue mark, and Z will be the leaving group. What are the leaving group? It can be the chloro, bromo, it can be the acetate, it can be the alkoxy, or it can be the amine. So when nucleophile can be the hydroxy, alkoxy, then it can be the acetate, it can be the normal amine, or it can be the primary amine. So when all the nucleophile is going to be attacked to the carbonyl carbon, that is the acyl nucleophilic substitution reaction, the Z, which is the leaving group, which can be substituted by using the nucleophile, and we are going to be get that. Let's see. Nucleophile is going to be attack on the carbonyl carbon, and we are going to be get formation of this intermediate. These intermediate are going to be interchanged into each other, and we are going to get formation of exactly the tetrahedral intermediate. This tetrahedral intermediate will be further converted into the product. That means it is a nucleophilic substitution of the carbonyl carbon. So that means our starting material is sp2 hybridized carbon, product is also the sp2 hybridized carbon atom. Starting material is trigonal in geometry, product is trigonal in geometry, but the intermediate which are going to be formed, which is sp3 hybridized and which is having the tetrahedral intermediate. So that is the indication that majority of the acyl nucleophilic substitution reaction are going to be carried out by using the tetrahedral intermediate. So reactivity of acid derivative. So it is the resonance stabilization also plays the important role into the acid stability, which are also going to be carried out the tetrahedral intermediate. So this also applies for ester and anhydride. So it depends upon starting material can be the ester, We have seen the example for aldehyde, ketone, acid. So this can also apply for the ester as well as the anhydride. In general, it is easy to convert more reactive derivative into the less reactive derivative. Therefore, an acid chloride can be easily converted into an anhydride, ester or amide. So all these conversion of acid chloride into either anhydride, ester or amide, all these reactions are going to be carried out through the tetrahedral mechanism. This is also the same thing will be there. So as we have discussed, all these conversion of acid halide or the acid chloride into the corresponding anhydride, ester or amide will be carried out via the tetrahedral mechanism. So leaving group in nucleophilic acyl substitution reaction. The loss of alkoxide ion in ester reaction is something we have not seen before. So what we are going to be see that alkoxide ions are going to be a very poor leaving group in SN1, in SN2, E1 or E2 mechanism. So how do we explain this behavior? So the difference lies partly in the mechanism of the nucleophilic acyl substitution. So in case of the SN1 mechanism, in case of the SN2, E1 elimination as well as E2 elimination, alkoxide ions are not going to be work as the good leaving group. But in case of the acyl nucleophilic substitution reaction, that alkoxide ion can become a good leaving group, and the reason behind this is the formation of the mechanism. That mechanism is nothing but the formation of the tetrahedral intermediate. So we are going to be see this slide. In SN2 mechanism also we already seen the same thing, because in SN2 mechanism, which is highly endo or the exothermic can be there. Sorry, it is a one step mechanism. It is neither exothermic or endothermic, and bond forming and breaking is going to be happen at the same time. So it is very difficult to alkoxide ion to live as the leaving group. So a poor leaving group like alkoxide ion gives rise to the slow rate and reaction does not work. But in case of the acyl nucleophilic substitution reaction, the alkoxide ion as the leaving group is going to be easily work out with the different mechanism. In SN1, SN2 mechanism, bond making and bond breaking is going to be happen in a single step, so mechanism is slightly difficult, and alkoxide ion as the leaving group is a difficult case. But in case of the acyl nucleophilic substitution, the first step of acyl nucleophilic substitution reaction is the endothermic attack of the nucleophile. That means nucleophile is going to be attack onto the carbonyl carbon and will give the one intermediate, and this is the endothermic attack. The second step is highly exothermic, and this is where the leaving group is expelled from the tetrahedral intermediate. So this is the main reason why alkoxide ion is going to be acts as the good leaving group in case of the acyl nucleophilic substitution reaction. The major reason is what? It is a formation of the tetrahedral intermediate, because first step is endothermic and second step is exothermic. So leaving group in acyl nucleophilic substitution, that we already seen in a different example. This means that rate is not influenced as a great deal by the leaving group ability. Means the rate of the reaction in acyl nucleophilic substitution reaction is mostly depends upon the formation of intermediate. Hence, nucleophilic acyl substitution can occur with the strong base acts as the leaving group. In the previous example, we have seen a nucleophile attack the carbonyl group to generate the tetrahedral intermediate. So it is a acid catalyzed nucleophilic acyl substitution. However, some nucleophiles are too weak to directly attack the carbonyl group. Example, an alcohol will attack an acid chloride but not the carboxylic acid. However, we see that by using a strong acid, an alcohol can react with the carboxylic acid, like the Fischer esterification, to give an esterification. The strong acid protonate the carbonyl oxygen and thus activate the carbonyl group to the nucleophilic attack. So as we have seen in case of the acid, a tetrahedral intermediate or the esterification reaction is slightly difficult, but the presence of the acid, strong acid, which protonate the carbonyl oxygen and which can activate the carbonyl group for the nucleophilic attack and will give the formation of the ester as the molecule. A similar mechanism also found for the transesterification. So we are going to be see now hydrolysis of carboxylic acid derivative. So in hydrolysis of carboxylic acid derivatives, all acid derivative is a carboxylic acid on hydrolysis. The hydrolysis can either be acid catalyzed or base catalyzed. The reactivity toward the hydrolysis varies greatly among the derivatives. So it depends upon the starting material, reactivity is going to be changed. And most of the time hydrolysis is going to be carried out by either acid catalyzed or base catalyzed. So hydrolysis of ester. The acid catalyzed hydrolysis of an ester is simply the reverse reaction of the Fischer esterification. Addition of the excess of water drives the equilibrium toward the side of the acid and alcohol. So that means hydrolysis of ester will be equilibrated towards the product if you are going to be added excess of the water. The basic hydrolysis of ester is also known as the saponification, and this does not involve the equilibrium process observed for the Fischer esterification. So hydroxide ion attack the carbonyl group to give a tetrahedral intermediate, followed by the exclusion of the alkoxide ion to generate the acid. So as we discussed previously in this video, that whenever any nucleophile is going to be attacked onto the carbonyl carbon, and leaving group is going to be expelled from the carbonyl system. So in case of the ester hydrolysis, our starting material is ester and our nucleophile is the OH minus, which is a hydroxide ion. When OH minus as the nucleophile will attack the carbonyl carbon of the ester, it will give the formation of the tetrahedral intermediate, and which facilitate the exclusion or removal of the less stable alkoxide ion as the leaving group. However, in case of the basic condition, the acid is going to be formed and alkoxide ion is a byproduct. So that alkoxide ion is easily going to be carried out quickly the deprotonation of the acid and will give the formation of the carboxylate ion. And once carboxylate ion will be formed, which does not allow the reverse reaction. So that's why there is no equilibrium into the base catalyzed hydrolysis. So this is the example of hydrolysis of ester. We are going to be mentioning it as a back to mechanism. That means base catalyze acid, we are going to be call it as what BAC2, that means back to mechanism. In back to mechanism, B stand for was base, AC stand for what breaking of the acyl oxygen bond. So ester hydrolysis in basic condition, when OH minus as the nucleophile will attack the carbonyl carbon of the ester molecule, will give the formation of the intermediate, and when there is a formation of the product as the carboxylic acid. But we are going to be observe starting material which is carboxylic acid, which is sp2 hybridized carbon with trigonal geometry. Product is a carboxylate ion which is sp2 hybridized with sp2 geometry. But our intermediate, which is the tetrahedral in nature. So that means a less stable alkoxide ion is going to be leave as the leaving group. So it is not the good leaving group, but formation of the tetrahedral intermediate will facilitate the alkoxide ion as a leaving group and will give the formation of the carboxylic acid and with alkoxide ion as a byproduct. But quickly that alkoxide ion is going to be abstract the proton from the carboxylic acid and will give the formation of the carboxylate ion, and this carboxylate ion and carboxylic acid equilibrium does not allow the reaction to go into the backward direction. So that's why there is no involvement of any equilibrium into the starting and the product. So hydrolysis of ester, that we already seen this mechanism of this reaction. So reaction type will be called as what? Nucleophilic acyl substitution. Carboxylic ester hydrolyzed to the parent carboxylic acid and an alcohol. That means this ester is going to be hydrolyzed into the carboxylic acid and alcohol. A reagent can be, if it is acid catalyzed, it will be the aqueous H2SO4 sulfuric acid. If it is base catalyzed, it will be the aqueous NaOH. Then it is also called as what? Saponification. The mechanisms are among some of the most studied in organic chemistry, because once we are going to be see starting material ester will be converted into the product carboxylic acid, but our intermediate will be the tetrahedral intermediate. Both CO bond between the acyl group and the oxygen is then cleave. Now come to the important part of this segment. So we are going to be observe there is a carbon oxygen bond which is called as what? Acyl oxygen bond, and there is a O and R dash bond. This is called as what? Alkoxy bond. This is called as what? Alkoxy bond. If it is alkoxy bond, it will stand as the Al. And if it is acyl oxygen bond, in case of the carbonyl carbon, it is a acyl carbon, and this oxygen is there. So that was this bond is called as what? Acyl oxygen bond. So during ester hydrolysis, when any of the nucleophile is going to be attack on the carbonyl carbon, first carbon of the carbonyl carbon and oxygen, that means there is a breaking of the carbon oxygen bond. That means a carbon of the acyl group and oxygen, this bond is going to be break. We are going to be here, this bond is going to be break. That means there is a breaking of the acyl oxygen bond breaking when it will be the base catalyzed hydrolysis. And base catalyzed hydrolysis stand for what? B. Breaking of the acyl oxygen bond breaking. So that's why it will be called as what? Back to mechanism. That's why it will be called as what? Back to mechanism. As in the last point, we already written it here that the carbon oxygen bond between the acyl group and the oxygen is cleave. And how we are going to be confirm that there is a breaking of the acyl oxygen bond and not the alkyl oxygen bond? So that breaking of the acyl oxygen bond is can easily confirm by the labeling of the oxygen. So labeling study is going to be having takes place very important role into the this mechanism. So what we are going to be carried out, whenever we are going to be carried out, the mechanism is supported by using the label oxygen 18. So this is the mechanism for base catalyzed ester hydrolysis. You can easily observe how the alkoxide ion, so how the hydroxide ion is going to be attacked onto the carbonyl carbon, will give the formation of tetrahedral intermediate, and the tetrahedral intermediate will be again converted into a carboxylate ion. So what is the step 1? The step 1 is what? It is the hydroxide ion which is going to be attack on the most electrophilic center of the ester, which is the carbonyl carbon, and will give the formation breaking of the carbonyl oxygen pi bond, and will give the formation of the tetrahedral intermediate. That is the driving force for the ester hydrolysis. Step 2. In step 2, the intermediate, which is tetrahedral nature, which will collapse, and it will again form the carbon and oxygen double bond, that is carbonyl carbon and oxygen double bond, and there will be the leaving of the alkoxide ion as a leaving group. And in step 3, we are going to be observed whether it is a acid or the base reaction. We are going to be observed the carboxylic acid which will be formed as a product after step 2, and alkoxide ion as the byproduct. This alkoxide ion is going to be deprotonate the acid and will give the formation of the carboxylate ion as the main product, and formation of the alcohol as the byproduct. Then how we are going to be easily confirm that this base catalyzed reaction is going to be carried out by using the back to mechanism. B stand for what? Base. AC stand for what? Breaking of the acyl oxygen bond. So if you are going to be take the oxygen, this hydroxide ion which is label, and suppose it is oxygen 18. If it is oxygen 18, if this oxygen 18 is going to be formed as the part of the carboxylate ion, that indicate there is a breaking of the acyl oxygen bond. And if this label oxygen 18 belong to the alcohol group, then we are going to be say that mechanism is different. But formation of the product with carboxylate ion having the O18 label oxygen is the confirmation that the base catalyzed ester hydrolysis will be carried out by using the back to mechanism. Back to means B stand for what? Base. AC stand for what? It is a breaking of acyl oxygen mechanism, and 1 stand for what? It is a unimolecular reaction. And again, esterification reaction are also going to be carried out by the same mechanism. So there are two important mechanisms are also there. AC1 as well as the BAL2 mechanisms are also going to be carried out. A stand for what? Acid catalyze. In case of the back or AC, AC means AAC1. A stand for what? Acid catalyze. AC means acyl oxygen. 1 stand for what? Unimolecular. In case of the back to or BAL2, B stand for what? Base. Al stand for what? Alkoxy bond, and AC stand for what? Acyl oxygen bond. So this is also the same. AC stand for what? Breaking of the acyl carbon bond, and Al stand for what? Breaking of the alkyl carbon bond. And all these can be easily confirmed by using the label oxygen 18 study. So thus AC1 is read as the acid catalyzed acyl cleavage unimolecular, and BAL2 is going to be termed as the base catalyzed reaction. So this is the diagram. We are going to be easily observe that this is the ester molecule, this is also the ester molecule, and we are going to be carry out the hydrolysis of ester. This bond, which is the carbonyl carbon, and this is the oxygen, so this bond will be called as what? AC bond. That means it is a acyl oxygen bond breaking. In case of this example, this is the oxygen and alkyl group, so that's why it is called as what? Al. That means it is the alkoxy bond or the alkyl bond. So this is what? It is the acyl cleavage, this is the alkyl cleavage, and majority of the times in base catalyzed ester hydrolysis there is a breaking of the acyl cleavage. That means these mechanisms are going to be carried out by using the back to mechanism, and which can easily supported by using a simple labeling study. That is the oxygen 18 label is going to be formed. If the label oxygen 18 is the part of the acid, and if it is not part of the alcohol, that is a confirmation that there is a breaking of the acyl oxygen. That means there is a back to mechanism is going to be carried out. Same thing is going to be carried out in presence of the AC2 mechanism also. So in this video we have seen how the acyl nucleophilic substitution reaction is going to be carried out. What is exactly mean the acyl nucleophilic substitution reaction is here, which type of the nucleophile are going to be takes place during the acyl nucleophilic substitution reaction, what are the leaving group will be there, what will be the geometry of the starting material, and what is the intermediate is going to be formed. So if we are going to be summarize this topic, we are going to be observe that acyl nucleophilic substitution reaction of aldehyde, ketone, acid, ester are going to be carried out by using the tetrahedral mechanism. And there are two examples we have seen, which is the back to mechanism as well as the AC2 mechanism. That means acid catalyzed esterification and base catalyzed ester hydrolysis. Both mechanisms are going to be give the formation of the acyl oxygen bond breaking and the alkyl oxygen bond breaking respectively, and which can easily confirm by using the label oxygen 18 study. Thank you. If you like the content of this video, you can share the video, you can subscribe my YouTube channel also. Thank you.